The terminal is a command line system similar to Windows command prompt. You can complete many actions from the terminal and is often faster than using the user interface. It does, however, take quite a bit of practice in order to memorize all the different commands that you'll want to use, but with Google at your side, you'll have no issues working in the terminal. To launch the terminal, you can right-click on the desktop and choose Open Terminal. You may also launch the terminal from the Applications drop-down in the top left corner of the screen, and by default, it's also stored on your Favorites bar on the left-hand side of the screen. When you first open the terminal, you will be presented with a screen which contains only one line, followed by the input cursor. On my computer, since I'm logged into the root account and I'm on a computer named Kali, I see root @Kali, tilde, and the hash sign. The word root represents the user account on which the terminal is acting upon. @Kali represents the computer name. The tilde sign represents the current directory. Since the current directory is showing as a tilde, this means that we are in the current user's home directory. If you are under /root, instead of seeing a tilde sign, you would see /root. The hash sign is a prompt symbol. Any keyboard input will appear after the symbol. The first command that we're going to use is the ls, or list directory contents command. This command will display the folders and files in the current directory. Go ahead and type in ls and press enter. Be sure to use all lowercase letters when typing the command ls. This is because the Linux terminal is case sensitive, and typing an uppercase L and a lowercase s will return an invalid command. The command ls has returned all the files and folders within this directory. Kali Linux shows all the folders in blue and all the files in white, so we can see that there's no files in this directory, just folders. You may also append options to most commands. And in this case, let's use the -a, which lists all the hidden files and folders. So I'm going to type in the command ls, I'm going to press the space bar, and I'm going to add the option -a. Now we may view all the files and folders in this directory, including the hidden files and folders. So you might be wondering right now, how did I know there's a -a command? Well, you could just Google how to view hidden files and folders on Linux, or you can use the --help option. Using the --help argument or command will allow us to see all the options we can append to the command. So let's type in ls space --help. Now notice that running the ls command with the help option outputs more information that can be viewed on one screen. So what you need to know is that you can hold left shift and press page up or page down to scroll up in the terminal or scroll back down. Notice that the first option that is listed is the -a option. If you don't remember any of the extra options, the most important thing you need to remember is how to view the help information. So make sure that you memorize the --help option. Now we have a lot of information on our screen right now, and it can be a little confusing when you're trying to find a specific output, but your screen is full of text. If we wanted to clear the screen, we could either close the terminal and open a new terminal, or we can use the clear command. To do this, simply type in clear. Another very useful shortcut is the up and down arrows on the keyboard. Pressing the up and down arrows allows you to cycle through your command history. This comes in very handy when you're typing in very long commands and you make a mistake. Instead of retyping the entire command, you can simply press the up arrow and you can go back and correct your mistake and re-execute the command. To navigate the file system, we need to use the cd command. We are currently residing in the home directory of root. To go back one directory, type in cd space --. cd tells the terminal that we want to change directories, and the 2 dots tells the terminal to go back one directory. Notice that the directory in the bash has changed from tilde to /. This means that you're now in the root directory of the file system. If you run an ls command, you'll be able to view all the files and folders in the root directory. Notice the folder named root. Root represents the user account root's home directory. It does not mean that's the root of the file system. The root of the file system is simply /. Now that sounds a little bit confusing, but it's pretty straightforward, and I'll try to break it down in a way that makes sense. There is the root of a file system, which means the highest level that you can possibly go. You cannot go any farther back than the root directory of a file system. There's also an account named root, which by default will have all the super privileges that the account will need. It's like your default administrator account on Windows. Linux will create a folder which is called the home directory for every user account. It names this folder the same name as the user account. Since we have a user named root, it created a folder named root. So when I say go to the root directory, 9 times out of 10, it means the / directory, not the home directory for the user account root. If we type in the command cd space root, which we're navigating to the folder root, notice that in the bash, our directory changes from / to the home directory shortcut, which is the tilde sign. There's a couple different ways you can get to this directory. You can use cd space tilde or cd space / root. Navigate back to the root directory by typing cd space /. Type in the ls command and list the contents. Now let's navigate to the bin directory. Type in cd space bin. Now let's say, for example, we want to move from this folder to the run folder that is under the root directory. Type in cd space run. Notice that we're returned with no such file or directory. This is because the run folder is not directly beneath the bin folder. If we want to change from this directory straight over to the run directory, we must specify the entire path, that is, from root all the way down to the destination folder. Since the run folder is directly beneath the root folder, we simply need to type in cd space / run. Now we successfully changed from the bin directory to the run directory. You can also use ls in a similar fashion. Let's run the ls command on the bin directory. So type in ls space / bin. The contents of the bin folder is now outputted onto your screen. Let's navigate back to our home directory. Type in cd space tilde. Next, let's make our first folder. To make a folder, we will use the mkdir command. You can run mkdir --help to view all the options for this command. We can see under the usage we're to type in the command name, followed by an option, which inside the brackets means it is not required, followed by the directory, which is required. I'm going to create a directory called test folder. So I'm going to type mkdir space test folder, all one word. Now if we type in the ls command, we can view our folder named test folder. Feel free to cd into the newly created folder, create subfolders if you'd like, or do anything else. Once you're done, we're going to learn how to delete the folder. We're going to use the rm command to remove this folder. I'm going to type rm space -r, which stands for recursive, space the name of our folder, which is test folder. Notice that if you type in the letters TES and then press tab, it will auto-complete the text for you. This is called tab completion. Tab completion will put in its best guess at what it thinks you're going to type. So if you're trying to cd to the folder desktop, you can type in the first couple letters and press tab, and it will auto-complete for you. If there's a couple different options, then it'll cycle through the options that are available to you. Remember to use tab completion wherever and whenever possible, as it saves you a lot of time. Now if we execute this remove folder command and type in ls, we can see that the folder is no longer there. Next, let's learn how to create a new file with the Nano editor. To do this, we're going to type in the command nano, followed by the file name that we want to create. You can also specify an existing file if you would like to edit it. I'm going to create a file called test file by entering the command nano space test file. This will open the Nano text editor. I'm going to type in some random text, and you can type in whatever you'd like. And then when I'm done, I'm going to press left control and X. Now this will cause the save prompt to display, and it will ask me would I like to save my changes. I'm going to press Y to say yes. The next prompt will be asking us about the file name. By default, it will already have the name we entered before, so you can either leave it the same or change it. This is nice when we're editing existing files if you'd like to make a backup. I want to leave it at test file, so I'm going to simply press enter. We will now be returned from the Nano editor. If we run an ls command, we can view the newly created file along with the other folders in our home directory. If you would like to view the contents of any particular file, you may use the command cat or CAT. I'm going to use the cat command on our test file. Notice that it outputs the contents of the file that we just created. You can use this on any file you come across in the terminal, and it's very useful if you don't want to edit a file, but instead you'd rather just get a quick output of the file contents. Now let's learn how to delete our newly created file. Again, we're going to use the rm command. This time, we do not need to use the -r or recursive option. Simply type in rm followed by the name of the file. Again, remember to use tab completion. Running an ls after we enter this command verifies that the file was deleted. I'm going to run a clear command to get rid of some of this clutter. The next command that we need to know is the ifconfig command. This command will output all of our networking information. The most important information you'll get from this is the inet address for Ethernet 0. Notice that our address is 10.0.2.15. If your address is different, that's fine, it's not a problem. You just need to make sure you take note of that. Later, we're going to be assigning a static IP, and you'll need this information when you go to do that. If you would like to change the password of the account you're currently logged into, you can type in the passwd command in the terminal. You'll get the response, enter new Unix password, and you'll need to type in the password twice to complete the change. If you run the passwd command, followed by --help, you'll see that you can also change the password of other user accounts with this command. You simply need to type in the passwd command followed by the username of the password you want to change. I don't need to do this right now, so that's all we need to cover in this lecture. Great job learning the basics of the terminal, and I'll see you in the next lecture.